Generic greetings. Apparently, working in the dark in a vast, cold environment akin to an empty warehouse where you don't have any amenities means that guards get pissed off. In the previous episode, we put this massive slump down, and as you can see, it is probably one of the biggest structures we've placed to date. It was close to 60,000 generic units of currency, and I really thought that that could cause us a lot of issues. However, we really haven't had a massive problem with balance. We did have to be very... I was going to use the word careful, but rather, I think the better word would be crafty. We had to be very crafty when it come to completing our grants. So things like kitchen and canteen are technically in there in the form of a checkbox, but not really fit for purpose or suitable for human habitation. But we also put some things around here and, just generally got a lot of grants done that we probably shouldn't have done. But that's allowed us to really skip ahead over the sort of tedious laying the track in front of the train. And really, we've just built the bridge ready for us to come up to it, if that analogy makes any sense whatsoever, which it probably didn't. Either way, this episode, we have a simple plan. Finish the prisoner acclimatization and engagement grant, and then get all of the lighting put in, and then getting the kitchen and canteen all sorted, and almost this place ready for people to arrive. So let's crack on with that. We'll go to utilities and then electrical cable, and we need to connect that electrical cable, which should light up most of this area. We will run the electrical cable to this corner here and then run it down and along, and this will provide most of the power for the cell block, I think, but we'll have to see. Like that. There's all that connected up. It is on normal speed. We will put that up to max speed, and then we'll probably take a look at the canteen. That is a nice cup of tea. Okay, and ding of the bell, you can see this is all lit up, and you know what surprised me? Just how open plan it is. When you've been looking at the entire lump in one go, and seeing all of the planned walls, but they're not actually built, you do sort of get a bit confused and thinking, oh, I might have actually placed them. No, I haven't. I knew this, it just sort of went out of my mind for a while. So, let's get these put in. So, we've got more than enough to get most of these foundations, not the foundations, most of these walls done. We do need to think about where we're going to put the entranceways to these. Probably there. And I think there is sufficient. There we are. And while we're on building, we might as well go ahead and place all of this. It's not going to cost too much, and quite frankly, getting it done will just save us a lot of headaches later on. And there we are. So, we still have a little bit of a power problem in the centre here. That can be resolved by running a cable. Well, we're going to have to run a cable into here anyway, which will then run along, and then I'll pretty much do that. And that should hopefully power all that up. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and stop. Because, oh yes, that's a problem. Let me just cancel all of that construction there, because we do need to place in some more capacitors, which are expensive, but, well, needs must. So, in terms of rooms, we do need laundry, we need a cleaning cupboard, and we need the kitchen. So, if we go to logistics 1, 2, 3, there's the prison labour done for the kitchen. As I've mentioned, though, we are not going to have them working in here. Or rather, I haven't yet decided. It's not set in stone that we're not going to have prisoners here. Just the plan was to not bother. But we'll see. So we'll just connect that up to there. We'll need to run some more in there. Obviously, nowhere near complete that kitchen. And we'll place another cooker. Let me just check. Will the cookers fit in there? 2, 3, 4. Hang on. I thought they would be able to fit in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I'm just off. That's a shame. Okay, hang on then. Dismantle object. Dismantle all of them. And we'll build them along there because it'll be 1, 2, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll put with the one gap there, we'll put probably a bin, like a bin can go there, like that. Okay, so you can see now we've craftily increased this. Did we pay for it though? We didn't, because when you place these cookers, it already dumps down some of this electrical cable, which means you can technically pick up and place, and you get, I believe, free cable. I mean, it's only a tiny bit of money anyway, so it's not really a problem. But anyway, so we need to continue on. Power is fine. We need to get the kitchen canteen done, but let's focus on this prisoner acclimatization and engagement. This is going to be the cleaning cupboard, which I think it's about right, but only just. We do have a gardener. We do have a gardener. That's fine. So, sorry. Oh, that's a cleaning cupboard. That's wrong. Well, no, we do need a cleaning cupboard, but it wasn't going to be there. We need a laundry, which will go in here. So the laundry requires a table. There's that sorted. Washing machines, 1, 2, 3. Probably need some more, but we'll sort that out later. And then what is always the issue, or tends to be the issue, is the placing of these ironing boards. Now I think that should be fine. They should have access to that. And laundry baskets, it doesn't matter. Dumping them like that might seem really, really silly, but it should function. What might not function, however, is the water pipe, because it's really far away. So instead what I'm going to do is run it up to there, and then I'll run a small pipe across. Like that. I could probably try and run a small pipe, but yeah, it's just not worth the risk. There we go. And we do need electrical cable as well, which is fine. We just connect it up like so. And that's the laundry and cleaning cupboard. So what I'm going to do is go to logistics, 1, 2, 3. And we will place a door there. Place a door on all these, actually, because, well, we need to do that anyway. And that should be prioritised. Prioritize that. You can see the guards are actually bringing in some of the laundry things now. The problem is that we don't yet have... There's our grant done, and then we'll turn all that off. We don't yet have any metal detectors, which means I believe we still can have contraband coming in. So I'm going to resolve that before anything else. So, metal detectors. Like so. Power connected like that. We are going to have one here as well, because we can, and we'll put them there as well. So hopefully that's going to be as secure as we really can get it for metal detecting. We have another grant to get. We've got visitation rights. We've got manufacturing facility, which we haven't got in here. That will be, if anything, an expansion thing. We're going to go for normal risk, undecided, and probably high risk. We might go for normal, low, and high, but that will require a redo, because this one here is just going to be a clone of this. That's all this is going to be. With the notable exception that if this one in the centre becomes low risk, I will probably remove all of the central parts here, all the central blocks, and have 2 fairly large dormitories, just to make it different. That's and also you can get more prisoners in there. And in the past we have had some interesting events when it comes to dormitories. So I think that's probably what we'll do. But that's a future us problem. We're just focusing on this for now. But I thought I'd just give you a bit of context of what might happen. And then this one will become high risk probably, and we'll have to redesign that. And then the expansion will be workshops and protective custody, which something we don't have, by the way, I'm aware of. This is going to become protective custody. And then we'll probably have death row. And we'll probably expand one way or the other, but we'll see. Yeah, speaking of that, I haven't mentioned it, but I meant to mention it in the previous episode. This area here currently has no purpose. Originally, we were going to do something like maybe something like maybe the laundry and the cleaning cupboard around here. We're not going to do that because that's going to be... We're not having a cleaning cupboard, and I'm going to promptly sell... I can't even dismantle. Clear that. I want to get rid of those. I want to bin them. Yeah, get rid of all that, well, toxic stuff. And what we'll do is just not use it. We're not going to have a cleaning cupboard. The laundry is going to be on each in each prison or cell block, whatever you want to call it. Technically, it's a prison in prison. And then this area is going to be a very small area for the protective custody, which is an issue because we don't have anywhere to feed them. We'll probably make a very small canteen here. Literally one cooker, one fridge, one of everything, just to get it done, and then that'll feed the cells that are here, which will be protective custody. So then we've still got that separation that we were originally going for. Right, anyway, enough rambling. Let's go over to here, and we'll just make sure that we have lights, which we don't. So we'll try and resolve that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That should hopefully be enough lighting in there. We're going to have lighting all down the corridor. As I said, I'm not going to worry about spacing. It's just going to be placed. And if it looks right, it is right. Is the general rule. We do want lighting in each one of these cells. And we'll have to have one on the outside and one in there. That should be fine. Lighting going along there. You can see it's all getting lit up now. And then in and around here. Like so. Like I say, not focusing at all really on the spacing too much. As long as there's light in, it's fine. There will be light coming out of the cells anyway because they do have lights already built in. But that is all of this lit, which is fine. So, in terms of grants, we got visitation rights. Relatively easy one to get. Security procedure certification, however, is probably better, but I think visitation rights at the moment is the way to go. So, visitation, we're going to place that in there. Common room, like so. We want to go at normal speed because we're not building at the moment. Visitation room, we need to build it, so technically we need visitor tables. With this being the standard risk one, we are just going to have all of our tables in here. Do I want to have them... How do I want them staggered? No, that wouldn't make sense. We need some gap. I think that's probably the best way of doing it. Like that, maybe, yeah. That seems to be reasonable, I think. So there's that one done. We need 3 visitor tables done. We need pool table, phone booths, all that sort of thing. Phone booths we will not do because we do need to get this built. So let's go to planning. And, well, actually what I'll do is I'll dismantle these objects here. This is just where we've got our temporary bit in. And then we're going to do planning. So we know it is a 3x4. So if we had 3x4, let's just assume that we're going to follow that same design there. Would it fit in? It would fit in, but with a little bit of a weird spacing issue. Could have 3 and 3 there. On the other side, we could not have that because of, well, as you can see, that problem there. So we're probably not going to do it that way. Instead, we'll work on doing it like that. And heavily stacking the stuff to the top. Like that. I'll measure it from that side again, so 4 and 4. And we'll get a couple in here as well. Like so. And then we've got all this space in the centre. The question is, do we want to alter that so we have that like that? No, we don't, because then we don't have access to here. Okay, I think then probably the best plan is probably something like that, with phone booths along the centre here. Is that the best plan, or do we go with something else? Do we go with it like that with a gap around it? Let's just try. This tool is free. It's not costing us to run this tool. It's costing us to keep the prison open though, so I'll stop just wasting money there. If we do it like that, we're getting less tables and sizing is an issue. Try it once more this way. No, we've tried it that way. Okay, I think the original idea was fairly sound. Do you want a gap of 1 though between that? That would make a bit more sense than what we originally had. Let's just try. Yeah, then we got that weird gap, haven't we? Could do that. No, I think the original idea was fairly sound. It's a bit cramped, which is why I'm still a bit unsure. Another thing that we could do, which is unorthodox, at least in my builds, but it is a possibility that we could do something like that. So 3 in a row, 3 in a row. And then it'd have to be 2 in a row there. Then we've still got this big space. No. Could go. Could do that, and that's just one big row there. And in fact, mathematically, would that function? Actually, let's try that out. Hang on. Is that correct? 1, 2, 3. My maths are totally off. No, I counted it right, just didn't account for the extra bit there. Okay, it's not going to happen. It's not happening. Okay. Right, we're going to go with our original design then. So, that, and then just copy it over. So I'll unpause it, I'll let them crack on. So it's going to be this, basically, all the way along. Like that. Although, I'm still of the opinion that we should give them a gap at the end there to get in. And then we still got, but then we got that weird thing going on there, haven't we? Where you'd have to have 2 together like that, and it just, yeah, defeats the whole purpose of it. Right, so we'll let these crack on. I'll max it out, and they're going to place that, and then we'll just go a quick build, clone, just clone it over. This is not necessarily final. We can always change this later on, you understand. If a better solution presents itself, or someone comes up with a better idea, then by all means I'm open to taking that. So we're going to probably work on the idea that they'll come in and then funnel down here and around like that. So phone booths, probably. Do you want to run them along there, and then it's a fairly big open area here? Or do we want to offset them there and there? And then you've got this walkway in here. Keeping that walkway clear does appeal to me. So, there basically is where they'll be. There's the phone booths. And basically all that there was in order to do this. It wasn't just to do that, but we needed to get it done, and that was killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Which, sadly for the flying animals, is not good. The avian variety does not like that idiom. So, let's go for a pool table, because we do need a singular pool table. And also, it needs some televisions. Now, like previously, putting these in is going to be a bit of an issue. So, we'll put them in either side, and we will put in TV. At least 2 TVs, actually. And we will need some chairs, which I believe is that. There we go. And in the centre, we can have a bench or something else. And max speed that out. And there's that grant done. So we've now got security procedure certification, which we will take, which is height and guards, unlock loads of stuff. So let's do just that. So we're going to get surveillance, intelligence, patrols, armory, the lot, basically the lot. Remote access, yeah, just research the whole thing. I'll unlock micromanagement because I think that's necessary. So in terms of power, that has not got any, so we'll do that, and that'll fix the problem there. And really, now when we look at it, we are getting close to something that is fairly stable. At least that is my belief. So what we want is to place some of these walls now. I will be leaving gaps here and there though, because I need to I need to have walkways in. So this area here, as I mentioned, is going to be our not solitary, sorry, it's going to be our holding cells. Do I have a holding cell? No, I don't think I need a holding cell, do I? I've got one over there. It's just going to be our protective custody area, to be honest. So protective custody we can do in many ways, but I think it's just a case of having as many fit in as we can. We could go along like that and have wide cells like that. That is a possibility. Something like that. The other option is to have... Are they still building over there? They're not, so I can pause it. The other option is to have that there, which is a reasonable size actually for the cells. No. 2 there. But then there's getting in there, and how do you gain access to that? It just wouldn't work. It'll be all over the place. I think because of the space limitations, that is probably the way to do it. The only other thing we could do is have a rework of this area here and move the power and everything else to maybe this area, but then again, that's now been settled on what that is, so... No, I think it's limited to here. I think it is limited to here. So in here, we will have, I think, our protective custody. I think that's the way to go, but I haven't yet fully committed on that. I'll have a think about that one. It's not strictly necessary at this point. For the next episode, what we need to do is get water connected to all of these cells. We need to get the doors put in around the perimeter. We need to get a direct pathway from this area to this area. We need to get some bit more security up and running, and then apart from the scheduling, we're pretty much there. So I reckon in a couple more episodes we will have some prisoners, which is just how we do things. I know some people have been critical in the past about not getting, I think you see place storage now and all the workers are coming to pick all this stuff up, which is why I placed it. I wanted to get away from there, but I think this is going to be full to be honest with you. Yeah, I know some people were critical previously about how we build things and how we tend to not have prisons really early on, and it can get a bit boring. What they say, it's just, I like doing it this way. I like to plan stuff out, have an idea, try and implement it. I'm certainly not against just getting prisoners very early and expanding from there. But yeah, I think it gives us a bit more room to build things in one go. And we haven't cheated, which is always an advantage. We've worked within the confines of the game, even though we've sort of bent the idea, if not necessarily the rules. Yes, no, we've followed the law of it rather than the spirit of it. Is some of the grants, but you know, it's the least of our problems, I guess. Either way, we're calling it there. Next episode, we'll go ahead and plan for getting prisoners, and maybe the one after that, or maybe Maybe close to it. I don't know. Depends on how much security you get and such. But we'll see. As always, comments in the comments. Hope you have enjoyed the video. Thanks very much for watching. Take care. And generic partings.